those of you who haven't traveled to Scotland, it's also considered one of the most haunted places. So this tells me something that these two, both father and daughter, are probably pretty sensitive to maybe something that's supernatural. So if she never was there, but he saw her and he heard her come in, so he's having an auditory and visual impression of her and sensing her.
Oh, do you have to like leave them
Yes,
a peace offering or something?
Oh.
And we're all so confused. We pause the movie and we're just sitting in our tracks on the couches, and you feel what direction it's coming from, vanishing into thin air, or talking to them from the other room just to find out I wasn't there. Welcome back, everyone. It is spooky season.
We love this season. And I am Omar, one of your hosts, and this is my beautiful wife, Savannah. And just because Savannah wanted to do something spooky, I'll do one of her favorite things. I've got the deeper voice today, so I can actually pull that off.
It's a fun game with our son. And he finds it so funny.
He would just chuckle. So we are going to cover the beginning of fall, and I wish the weather would completely cooperate in Southern California, but
we'll get there. The evenings are cooling off, which is really nice.
Yes.
But it now allows us to come in with some very strange and weird occurrences and stories.
This is going to be fun. So this is one of our favorite seasons. So strange and weird is going to be great to talk about. But before we get into that,
look at our coffee cups.
So our teacups now have a new special blend.
How big is this thing?
Yeah, those are huge.
It's like the size of my hand, which I love.
The size of my hand as well.
No, your hand's bigger.
Oh, okay, maybe a little bit.
I love big tea or coffee cups because it gives you more, and you can not have to stand up to go make another one. Yeah. Except it needs to stay warm. That's the biggest thing.
There's a few things here that we're going to share. So this is our love for tea. So these two mugs were very specially made. They're handcrafted by an artist that's in the Midwest. And she loves spooky things. So Savannah gets the ghost with the
umbrella and rain.
And umbrella and the rain. And I get the fall kind of ghost that comes in. So now we'll see if Savannah...
These things are heavy when they're full.
Oh, yes. Now let's see what Savannah thinks about her tea.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, okay. Any guesses?
It's sweet.
So I don't want you to guess something you think you already know because it's a brand new one for us.
Okay, it's a brand new one. It's an August tea for sure.
It is an August tea.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice one for fall.
Yeah, that's what I thought so too. Mm-hmm. So it's called Boozy.
Boozy. Oh, okay.
So it has
that's very cute.
Boozy black tea, and white chocolate, and prune.
Wow, that's really nice.
So these dark teas are also just absolutely very fall inspired to me in general. So tea becomes kind of this wonderful thing, especially with cool evenings. And if we do get a little bit of rain and a thunderstorm, we will welcome that with a wonderful cup of tea.
I miss being able to curl up with a nice cup of tea and a book. And it's just cold outside.
Yeah, I think that's one of our favorite parts about the fall. It also is perfect writing season for me. I love doing it there too. But before we jump into the first story, I do want to point out that Savannah has got a very cute T-shirt on.
Oh, this was purposeful. Very fall-like. I wanted to match a little bit of our theme.
Yes. Going
forward. So I've got bats on my shirt.
Yeah, it's very adorable. Love bats. They're really kind of fun little creatures of the night. We do see them around here, so they actually do exist in different places, even in suburbia.
They're very cute. They're so tiny.
Yeah, the ones here are very tiny. I think the ones different places in the world can get very large, but we do think that, I mean, if you haven't looked up a fruit bat, I'll tell you that. So the other ones look a little more ominous, but a fruit bat, oh my gosh, big eyes. They're more daytime flyers, and they look adorable. So anyway, my plug to fruit bats as well as for our wonderful tea. Let's see what we got.
All right. So again, we're jumping into strange occurrences or things that people really can't seem to find themselves able to explain.
So this could be anything, right? I mean,
It could be absolutely anything.
It could be ghosts, UFO phenomena, somehow glitches in time. Anyway, this will be fun. Let's try and figure out what we have here. Let's see if we can help. Maybe we have some insight, and we will, along the way, share some of our spooky stories, experiences. And I do have a couple that will be a little tingly.
Okay. So the title of this one is Second Daughter Disappeared. An entire human being just disappeared.
Okay.
Which I don't know how it's possible. Okay, let's have a look.
Oh, the only thing it could be is a glitch in the Matrix. So.
All right, let's get into it. So I have a second cousin who has been married to his wife for about 20 years. About 7 years ago, I went to a family reunion that he, his wife, and their 2 daughters were at. At one point, I was watching all of the kids, including my own. His daughters' names were Hannah and Haley. I spent time with those girls. I took them fishing. My daughter remembers both of them because she was the older cousin. About 2 years later, I saw a post on Facebook that they had taken Hannah to Disney World. I was confused because I was like, where is Haley? I have seen and have taken pictures of her. My daughter remembers her. He keeps saying that. They posted lots.
He's actually trying to
reinforce
the idea that he's not the only one here that sort of looked at this. Okay.
Well, now that he's got his daughter on his side, they posted lots of other posts where they were doing stuff with Hannah.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So naturally, I asked about Haley, and they both stated they did not have a daughter named Haley. Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Okay.
Goosebumps. Having a conversation with my cousin's wife about the spelling of their daughter's name. He remembers having a conversation with them about the spelling of their daughter's name. So I went back into my Google Photos to see if I could find pictures of Haley, and she was not there. My daughter had pictures on her phone as well, and she freaked out because they were gone.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Like the pictures were still there, but Haley was not in them. Oh my gosh. I just got huge shivers. What? No one else in the family remembers her. Even though some of the pictures were of aunts and uncles and cousins with her. It's like somebody photoshopped her out of all the pictures. I'm so confused. Like, what happened to her? How does this child not exist that I remember fishing with? I even asked multiple family members if they knew any child named Haley, because I thought, well, maybe she was somebody else's kid. Yeah, no one knows who she is. And even my mom states that she doesn't remember that name. What the hell?
Well, so you have 2 people that have a common memory.
So it's not just him.
No, that's why he keeps
his daughter as well.
He's saying his daughter. So the common memory, but everything else is gone. But what's interesting about the evidence he's presenting is odd because they both have a memory in their photographs.
But even discussing the spelling of her name with the parents.
Well, I mean, that's a conversation. So it's you could forget or misremember a conversation. He's compiling the list evidence
of referring back to her.
But the hardest part about this one is looking at the fact that he is with his daughter looking at pictures they've taken.
And they knew she was there.
And they knew she was there, and she's not there.
I keep getting goosebumps.
Oh, I don't even know what to say to this.
So there's an edit.
Yes, okay.
So this is now after the fact of posting. To edit, answer some questions. I noticed this about 5 years ago. I did do a deep dive into it. I Googled things and people involved. I found other girls with the same name, but none of them were her. I went through old photos. I was convinced something had happened to her and no one wanted to talk about it. I asked so many other cousins, uncles, aunts, and Haley's grandparents. My daughter had taken a bunch of selfies with her cousins as they had camped out a couple of nights in the same tent. She was gone from all the pictures, even the one I had of her and my great aunt of just the 2 of them. My daughter was 14 at the time. My son was 11, and he doesn't remember Haley either. The girl's dad does, in fact, boil fish. My cousin's wife did have multiple miscarriages after Hannah, and that's why she said they only have the one child. Maybe she was a ghost.
that would be the only
Oh my gosh.
explanation I would
I
have.
keep getting
So
goosebumps everywhere.
it would be very curious because they were very close in age, right? Both of them, at least based on the story.
Apparently his daughter apparently was the older of the cousins, but close in age. Yes, close enough
But
in age that they're camping out together.
But the two girls, the
Hannah and Haley.
Hannah and Haley were about close to the same age.
They don't really say.
Really say.
They just say two daughters.
Okay. Wow. So this is like reminiscent of wonderful ghost stories that we would read, and I have a big collection of them because I just love the way they're written, and it's all about the psychological component to it. Now, I would have to say they probably saw a ghost, and the only suggestion I would have for them, since they're really avid researchers, very much like Savannah, is an avid researcher, is to maybe look back in time and see if there was somebody at one time in the family that was about that age, like a little girl that lost her life and was part of the family, but at a different time. This reminds me of the remember that movie we were watching, that Netflix series that was really impactful to us in the end, about
You're
Summer.
talking about that one on the island,
yes,
the family
one on the
island.
Do you remember what it's called?
Don't do yeah, I don't.
Okay, so anyway, but this was out on Netflix a while back, but the twist and turn on this included also having ghosts, but it's also so much looking at somebody's memory. Memories are triggered.
It's Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon Prime. Okay, it wasn't
yes.
Netflix. So this tells me something, that these two, both father and daughter, are probably pretty sensitive to maybe something that's supernatural. But what's really interesting about this is I'll bet you they really did see something, but it really wasn't there. I mean, it wasn't there to everybody else.
It's crazy to me because, I mean, when you have such vivid memories with someone, they went fishing together, they recall these pictures having had her in it, and you bring her up again because she's somehow not being shown in recent pictures, and you get a response like, who are you talking about? That must take you back, completely. I mean, even the little girl, as a daughter, he doesn't mention that they've had any experiences prior to this. But if you by yourself, people question you a little bit more.
Of course, because they'll say, have you been drinking?
Yeah, have you been drinking? They want a source to kind of validate what you're saying. And if I'm just thinking back to being 14, 15, although they said this was a few years later after the fact, so she must be still a teenager later,
I would imagine so,
teens. Yeah. And that is such a strange role to sit in, because you have met this person, you've spent time with them, and all of a sudden to find out that no one else even recalled them is mind-blowing to me. It does make, we do believe in ghosts and other entities.
So paranormal phenomena is just something that to us is, we can't put a scientific explanation onto it.
No, and I firmly believe there's things out there that we can't fully understand or explain. You are not the only, I think, little human beings, or how could I say, species of our intelligence, if I want to put it that way, for lack of a better term.
All things considered, my book does have supernatural phenomena in it in general, so I think Savannah and I are pretty open. Do you have a ghost story that you've had?
Yes, I have an experience which everyone in the house could not explain.
Okay.
So I was also a teenager. I was probably around 14 or 15, maybe a year or two younger. But I was living in the house with my mom, my dad, and my brother at the time.
Okay.
We were all in the living room watching TV. I think we started a movie or something. It was very common for us to eat and then watch something together before we all went to bed. And after we eat dinner, we have a dishwasher. You know how easy a dishwasher is. So you just put everything in the dishwasher, and it wasn't full. So if the dishwasher's not full, we just kind of leave the door open.
Is it like a secret clue in the family that you can actually put something on? Okay.
But we just left it open. It was like half.
There's a code here in the family that we didn't. Okay. Anyway.
So only our dishes from that evening was in there.
That's spooky by itself.
Oh, stop. So we all went back to watch TV after the fact, and 10, 15 minutes into the movie, we hear water gushing.
Oh.
And we're all so confused. We pause the movie and we're just sitting in our tracks on the couches, and we all then stand up and walk to the kitchen, and the washing machine was on and open. And there was just like water. Dun. There was water splashing everywhere. And we all looked at each other and said, well, I didn't turn on a dishwasher. It's like, I didn't turn it on either.
But technically, in the very spooky world of dishwashers, you can't turn them on
when
unless they're
open.
Closed.
Exactly. That's the thing, right?
That is the
that
thing.
was another thing that it just took us back.
Mind-blowing.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Anyway, so that is an experience that I recall.
But what did you feel? I mean, you guys heard the sound. Why wouldn't you just assume faulty plumbing?
No, because we all have a little bit of a suspicion, that there's a little bit more out there.
But did you see anything else happen?
I didn't see anything else happen.
Okay.
No. I think we all joked at each other and we said, yeah, it's the ghost. And then we all kind of laughed it off and then actually really thought about it after the fact.
And then went back to their scary movie and it wasn't so funny anymore after that.
We were watching a scary movie.
The ghost in the dishwasher, ready to haunt every household that has one.
Clearly, the thing was trying to figure out the appliance. I mean,
absolutely.
I can't blame it. It
no,
must have come from how many years back?
Who knows? I mean, a very, very clever ghost, but modern appliances did throw it off.
Do you have any experience?
I have actually multiple experiences. I think I'll start with one, and I'll share some others during our episode here a little bit. One of my most sentimental ones was Prin.
Mm-hmm.
Prin is or was a really wonderful terrier mix that was part of my life for many, many years. Found her at the Mill Creek wetlands. So it's wetlands that's in the area here. Wandering around, just jumped in the car and basically came home. Prin was very mischievous. She would get into trouble, but she was a very, very vivacious little dog. She reminded me, if you've ever seen, if you ever go to Scotland and you see the little dog that they have over there, it's absolutely kind of like the same thing, except that little dog was actually much smaller. So Prin was older than I think I realized at the time, because she really didn't show her age because she had so much energy. But when she passed away, it was a very hard passing because she was such a sweet little soul. And my experience with her was actually hearing her bark after she was gone. And she'd be in the house and you could sense her. And there were probably 2 or 3 different times that she actually barked. And there was no mistaking her bark. She had her own little voice and everything else. And it was very sweet, but also a little spooky, I would say. But it was really nice to know that...
You're reminded I'm still around.
Yeah, that she's still around a little bit. And I don't think I would ever necessarily expect these beautiful souls and dogs that we love so much to stay. But it was nice that she stayed around for a little bit. And so even to this day, she's just an incredible soul. And I'm really happy that we were able to share a beautiful journey together. But yeah, that was probably one of a few little supernatural experiences.
But that's a very sweet reminder.
Yeah, she was very sweet. So,
but let's see what these people said in the comments, because I'm pretty sure we have a lot to talk about.
There's going to be a paranormal expert in there. I'm positive.
Okay, so one of our commenters said, my mom has always told me in the months leading up to becoming pregnant with me, and during pregnancy, she always felt a presence in the backseat of her car.
Ooh, that's spooky by itself. Okay.
Have you ever been in a room or been at a place and just felt like someone was staring at you?
Yes.
I felt that several times. It's you cannot, no matter what you do, you cannot brush it off. And you you feel what direction it's coming from.
So this is if for those of you who are a little skeptical, and I understand that you would be, so I'm not going to say
Well,
that you
if
shouldn't be.
you've made it this far, I think you're
Right,
interested
you're
enough.
probably intrigued. So think of it this way: there's an energy around us, and there's an energy that we can sense. This is not really proven by science, and some scientists will sort of tell you you can't do that. And let me just speak on behalf of scientists in general, because I'm an engineer, so I fit kind of that category. And you want evidence, and I think science oftentimes says if there's no evidence that I can measure, that's like a human measurement, then it doesn't exist. But I will tell you that let's go down a path that most people have sensed, and then you can add into how this turns into maybe something that's beyond it. If you're walking somewhere or you're standing somewhere and you look over and you feel someone has been staring at you and you see that person staring at you, how do you explain that? And I've seen it, God knows a number of times. Like you could
Let's
be in
break
a,
it down to the average person that won't attribute it to anything paranormal.
Yeah.
If you're walking into, say, a coffee shop, you're getting ready to get a coffee, and you feel an uneasiness in the room in the sense of, gosh, someone just feels really negative or
Yeah.
really dark.
That's a good
And you
word.
look around and there really is a person there, and you can tell it's like this energy is just absolutely radiating from them because they're giving off this anger, or they're having a very immersed conversation with someone, and they're just letting this energy out, and you can feel it. It's like negative or whatever energy it's going to be.
I can even throw something funny. I mean, maybe not as funny, but a little bit funny in the sense that somebody cuts you off and you're driving, and you're looking saying, really, this is going to happen? And then you drive by them and you look at them and they're automatically looking at you. It's like they've sensed you that you're looking at them. So forgetting the negative energy, other than negative, somebody cutting you off, of course.
So this is separate from anything paranormal. This is a physical person that's there, and they're giving off an energy. And again, going back to what Omar said, it's not necessarily explainable from a scientific point of view. So people frown more upon it.
They brush it off, and so you can extrapolate.
This is no different to, say, an entity that is not a human being that we can all see.
And this is the concept
this is the part of, having, sitting in a room and you feel you're not alone.
So you can feel that. And I think I've certainly felt it. And this is where people love going to haunted places, right? Because then you're feeling something that you're not. It's not a person that has an energy, but it's, somebody's probably spirit side that has the energy. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. Okay.
Yes, it is very interesting. We have another comment. Let's have a look at it. I had a similar experience, but not with other witnesses involved. I'm a physical therapist and was working on a patient 3 times a week. And during each session, she would tell me all about her 2 sons. She had a teenager still at home and had an older brother who was independent, but they had a good relationship and would hang out often. She told me every detail. About a month later, I asked her a question about the older brother, and she said she didn't have another son. I was shocked. She said they had always planned for a second child, but it never worked out. During this time, I was toying with some timeline glitching, metaphysical type stuff, and a few odd things happened like that in the same week, so I wondered if it was related.
Well, so these people are not unique in their experience, but it is fascinating. And if you keep your mind open, in other words, you're not going to block it off because you're going to write it off. You might actually be more open to some things than you may realize. This is a good one. I like this one.
It makes you think a little bit, but yes, it's possible. Things out there happen like this, and I think we're made to sometimes believe we're going crazy. Mm-hmm. So you'll either keep it to yourself or you won't share it necessarily with your loved ones. But I find it...
I'll throw this in here too. Mm-hmm. For those of you that are parents of little kids, keep in mind your children's minds are not formed by society. I mean, so we've oftentimes looked at Ryland and said, okay, Ryland, you're looking at something. You're connecting to something in the room that there's nobody there. And so we of course, don't know what's going on exactly in his mind. But I would just say that as we get older, we are told to write off, rationalize all these sorts of things. But young children don't.
And this is where young kids, we all know, if you're a parent, your child doesn't have a filter. So
yes, they do.
They
not.
blurt whatever they want out of their mouth. You know, it's not in the sense of trying to be disrespectful or anything like that. They just have no filter. They say what comes to mind, and this is because they're of an age where society or people around them have not shaped them to say or not to say something.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where they have these glasses on where they're so much more open to the world, which means they are going to have the opportunity to see so much more than what our minds will allow, because again, we do have those blockages around us.
So
that we
learn
push away
from your children to keep an open mind.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
allow what could be to possibly be.
You know, I'll tell you, I read this incredibly chilling story, and it took me back. It must have been, I think it could have been on Reddit, because obviously our content comes from Reddit. And this mother was explaining that she was in the kitchen cooking or cleaning, whatever the case was. I don't recall that detail. And she had a 3 or 4 year old son that was playing in another room. And the son came running up to his mom and said, Mom, I was shot and I was bleeding.
Oh, this is potentially a past life.
Yes, I was shot and I was bleeding. Oh my gosh, my entire body is filled with goosebumps right now. And
it's true, I can witness it. They are there. I can see them.
and the mom's like, what do you mean? It's like, you're fine. And he's like, no, I remember I was shot. And she's like, is he just like messing with her or playing a game or something? And he runs off. She walks up to her son later and she asks him more seriously, so what were you telling mommy earlier? It's like, no, I remember I was shot, but I was me, but I was different. And that's all. And this mom was so taken aback that she made this post, and she said, you know what? I never really believed in things like past lives or past experiences. But my son being so genuine in his emotion of, because when she said, you weren't shot, you're fine, he was genuinely upset.
Of course he would be.
You know, he's looking at her with these innocent little eyes of a child, probably remembering something and saying, no, Mom, really, believe me, I was.
So this could be a whole topic for us on maybe
it is a whole
episode,
different topic.
The idea of past lives and how
the
this all
idea
fits
that
in.
you've lived before your life right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that, of course, does not always mesh with religious belief.
No.
But at the same time, there is so much experience out there that it's hard to just ignore it. So
it is.
Anyway, we will save that. So stay tuned. That will be a future episode.
Yeah, that's a bit of a teaser for something coming up.
Just impromptu teaser, but it's good. It works.
Right. Let us move on. My girlfriend came home, except she didn't.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave and come back, but I didn't really come back.
All right.
If we're looking at it directly.
This is going to be very interesting.
So I haven't really had a good one to post here, but by now I do, and honestly, I'm still kind of freaked out from it. So to let everyone know, these stories were pulled from like a community on Reddit called Glitch in the Matrix.
Which makes sense. It would be a good title
so
for
this is, again, people cannot explain these things. So they kind of refer to it as a bit of a glitch. So let's see what this is about. So my girlfriend works 5-hour shifts at an aged care place, 7 to 12 p.m. today. And today she texted me to say she was doing a double shift, which was honestly fair enough. I was sitting at my computer eating lunch in the office in my house at around 12:15 when I suddenly hear the office door open. I jump and turn around to see my girlfriend standing in the doorway. She made this short little ha cry as if to sarcastically scare me. It was something she usually did to be funny. Then went off to the bedroom, presumably to get changed. I turned back to my computer to finish lunch and just sort of hung out, waiting for her to reappear. But she didn't. I figured she was in the bedroom still, but the door was open and the room was empty. I walked through the house and there was no sign of her. I figured she might just be using the bathroom or something, so I thought nothing of it. Another 10 or so minutes passed and still no sound from any doors or anything. I checked the house again and she's nowhere to be seen. I check outside and her car is not outside. So I figured she went back to work for that double shift. I texted her asking if she was doing a double shift and she said yes. I said it was kind of weird to come back home and then leave immediately after she never did when she usually worked a double shift. She texted me back, dead confused about what I was talking about. I said that she came home and surprised me. She stated that she had been at work all day.
Oh my
She swore
gosh.
up and down that she never came home. My girlfriend takes her work very seriously. With her travel time, she wouldn't have had time to come home and then go back to work before her second shift. So now I'm left wondering if a doppelganger opened my office door and surprised me, or if I'm just going crazy. Whoa.
Okay, so it's probably not the doppelganger, although
No, I don't think it's a
we do
doppelganger
find people
thing.
out there that really do resemble, and strangely enough, there. But that's an interesting one. So what could it have been? What could he have been doing?
You don't think he was taking something?
Well, I mean, there's okay. So we'll throw that in there. This is an exclusion. So our premise here is that there's
we're
not
going to be
something-
open to believing what we're reading right now. Okay,
right.
so let's just put that out
Not
there.
somebody's had some fun gummy bears and now they're hallucinating everything around them. Wow. So if she never was there, but he saw her and he heard her come in, so he's having an auditory and visual impression of her and sensing her, and also her mannerisms and everything else. I wonder in the moment of him being surprised if he saw that she was wearing the same thing before she left to go to work or came back, obviously. That would be very interesting, because if it was a different clothing, that would add to the interesting mystery to the whole thing. So
I don't know.
But that's a very...
She could be a nurse working double shifts. I don't know. So she could be wearing
the same thing over and over again. That's true.
So I don't know that I rely completely
this is an
on
interesting
that.
mystery one. I don't even know what to really add to it. It just seems like, could she have just projected herself there? And of course she wouldn't know this because she's looking at him like he's nuts.
Maybe he's recalling a different day and replayed it in his mind like it actually happened in that moment.
Well, okay, so I'll throw this one in here, although he didn't say anything, but we oftentimes will look at, I'll say, a dream, because that's what I'm really thinking about. And in that dream, it feels very real. I mean, your feelings in dreams are actually oftentimes very real. They're also potentially another gateway to something else, information, understanding. Is it possible that he was on his computer and dozed off for a second, heard her, but really was a dream?
It could be a little bit
I'm trying to find something
spacing out in time.
It could be spacing out, and I'm just thinking about.
So
that.
like when people say they're daydreaming.
Yeah. Okay.
You kind of see someone as daydreaming, like they're in a bit of a daze and they're just staring. He might have had something like that. It's
possible. I mean, we're trying to find an explanation that
maybe he dazed away after having texted her. She said she's going to have a double shift, and then his mind just drifted.
It could be. I mean, I'll just share this with everybody else. But I mean, if you're staring at a computer screen all this time, you sometimes just you're going to blank out a little bit if you just keep staring and doing your work there. This is where coffee and tea are very important, by the way. And then you can help kind of revive yourself, at least temporarily, because it's not obviously the best thing you can do. But I'm wondering if that might have been maybe the explanation for it.
Let's see what our friends are saying on Reddit.
Anything?
So I've experienced alternate reality flashes my whole life. I used to it used to freak me out because everywhere I went, I could see the world like everything was burnt down and all the plants were overgrown. As an adult, I understand what I was seeing, but as a kid, I was worried I was seeing a prophecy or something.
Well, that's unfortunately the influence of movies.
Yes.
And the way they describe
So
supernatural phenomena.
a few people are kind of talking about an overlapping timeline,
Mm-hmm.
like it was a jump in time to a different time moment. But let us have a look at what this person said. It's one of the top comments.
All right.
So they're letting you know that it's serious. So whether we want to believe it or not,
They're serious.
I usually don't post on Reddit subs that deal with glitches or paranormal because there's an army of people or bots who are quick to try to logically explain it again, the scientific
No, this is
realm.
the same thing that we've talked about. Yeah.
But this sub seems mostly fine so far. So here it goes. Ever since a major life event that happened to me, which I won't disclose because of many reasons, people have been seeing me when I'm not actually there. This happened with various exes, best friends multiple times, and coworkers, etc. Some of the time, I wasn't even in the same country or city. Sometimes it's as benign as seeing them at a bus station and not saying hi or anything to them, after which they call me to ask why was I cold. Other times it's literally what you've described, entering a house and saying something to them, then vanishing into thin air or talking to them from the other room just to find out I wasn't there. This happened so many times that it became a new normal for me. It's always malevolent, though, in my case. And my doppelganger is never kind or polite. It's always either cold or bitchy. Okay, so as for my own experience with this, there was only one, and to be honest, I attribute it to some kind of hallucination, even though I never had any hallucinations. I'm used to living with girlfriends or friends, and this happened a couple of days after breaking up a 2-year plus relationship. I woke up because I felt something scratching on my back. Turned around and asked my girlfriend why isn't she asleep. She told me she couldn't sleep and was just playing with me. It wasn't out of her character to do things like this. It wasn't mean-spirited or anything. I shrugged and went to the bathroom, and when I returned to the room, she was still in bed, and I didn't think anything of it and just went to sleep and saw her fall asleep as well. While on my side, I suddenly remembered that we broke up. She doesn't live here anymore. I didn't have a spare key either, so I jumped out of my bed expecting it to be some sick joke. To my surprise, she wasn't there. Nothing like this happened to me before or since. I saw her and interacted with her 100%, no doubt about it. Whether it was an hallucination or not, I'm not competent. Is it a hallucination every time other people saw me? I still can't wrap my head around it, and I don't think I can. I don't think we have answers for many things that happen in this world. Trying to find any kind of logic in this is the wrong step, in my opinion, since it's based on the principles that we know aren't necessarily true. I fully believe there is some kind of quantum or paranormal component that we aren't aware of yet. Why some people experience it and not others, though, no clue.
I think you have to have a sensitive side, not emotionally sensitive, but a sensitive side to paranormal phenomena to really start experiencing it.
I think someone that hasn't experienced any paranormal activity or situation is completely blocked off from it.
Yeah,
so therefore it won't come to them, or they just don't pay enough attention to actually even notice if something has happened.
So this is an interesting one because it's kind of dual. It has
he was in a bit of a sleepy state though.
He was.
You could have experienced that in a bit of a dream.
It could have been a bit of a dream, or I mean, it could also be if you're extending. And again, we're not going to be these experts here, but we certainly have had our share.
Mm-hmm.
He could be feeling a residual emotional energy that still exists within himself and the space. because of the space that he did share with somebody that he was very connected to. As far as for him, being able to get a bit more towards, I think the projection of himself a little bit, that's a different story. I think I know there's a term out there, astral projection, that you can actually look into if you're actually very interested. And I've done a little bit of reading on it. I'm not going to say I'm an expert by any means, but I'm wondering if he is able to, but subconsciously, to sort of like be in a space and people are noticing him. And he's not interacting because he's really not there in that form, but he's connecting
So it
to
makes
somebody.
sense because how people are explaining his demeanor is very disconnected.
And that would make
it's-
sense.
So astral projection is very much you basically find yourself in a different place, whether it might be mentally or physically that some people see you, but then you're not entirely there.
So I would say if I had to give him a suggestion, and again, this is a lot of research he's going to have to get into, is take a look at that as a phenomenon. That might
It's
be
very interesting.
It might connect for him. It might resonate for him.
It's very interesting that he has the ties back to a bunch of other people, whether
Yes.
it's an ex or friends in different cities or countries, stating having had these experiences. Because if it was just this singular experience, it's a little bit different.
But can you imagine what we would do to the airline industry if we could just do that? Just go take a vacation wherever we
Sure,
want to.
astral, but they wouldn't be making so much money. Huh?
And then FedEx wouldn't do as well, and UPS and all the others either. You could deliver your own personal messages.
Oh, please. It would be a much different world if it was that simple. Talk about a money-making industry.
Yes, of course.
Wow, that's incredibly fascinating.
It is. I think the more we see these experiences out there and we share them, I think the more we can tap into feeling like we're not going crazy, we're not alone. There's something else.
Mm-hmm.
We may not have the explanation for it, but there is something else. And I actually do love that mystery, that there is something else.
I do too. It's like a little bit of a reminder that there's more to life than what meets the eye, or more to it than the daily routine. There is a lot of mystery out there, and it's fun to allow yourself to be open to letting that come in, because that's the only way I think you're really going to be able to experience something.
Mm-hmm.
Is your openness, or you're willing to be open to accept something. It's very much the same thing as you can decide that you don't believe something and then you're cutting ties with it entirely. Or you can say, oh, you know what, I'm open to it, and then something will pop in, just because your openness was there. I'm not saying believe in ridiculous stuff if you don't feel you should.
You mean like Pokemon's not
Again,
real?
it goes back to a bit of a gut feeling, which your intuition is tied to. You'll feel a pull to something if you should believe in it or not.
So the tooth fairy is real, and Santa's there, and the Grinch does not exist. So hopefully we've cleared up a few things.
He's just telling everyone about old stories we've covered. So maybe you've seen them or haven't seen them. Maybe they're coming up.
All right, what else do we have that could be very intriguing for our audience today?
The drink I chose at the gas station suddenly became a different drink when I got home.
On a very small scale. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay.
All right, let's see what we're dealing with. This happened twice now. This time, it really freaked me out. The first time, I walked into the gas station and I picked up a cherry-flavored Alini Nu. I have no idea what that is, everyone, but it's a drink.
I don't know either.
I paid and walked out with my drink in a bag. When I got home and took my drink out, it was peach-flavored. I was so confused because I knew for a fact I grabbed the cherry one, but I chalked it up to maybe I was looking at the cherry and accidentally grabbed the peach. That's where my mind would go.
I think my mind would go there as well.
Yes. Okay. The second time, a week later, which was today, I went into the same gas station with my husband and we both picked out our flavors. I picked up the watermelon and he picked up the peach. I saw him pick up the peach and I saw both flavors on the counter when we checked out. remembering the first time I thought to check. We pay and leave with the drinks in a bag. When we get home, I go to take out the drinks to put them in the fridge, and they're both watermelon. My husband was shocked too because we both saw he grabbed the peach one.
Dun, dun, dun.
The changing of the flavors. I don't know what is going on, but it definitely feels like some sort of glitch.
You know, it's funny. When we talk about stories that are like this, we always assume they're about other people or other feelings and past life. Flavor of drinks is a very different level of this.
It is so easy, though, to be looking at something, reading something, and grabbing. Or how many times have I done this? Because we have a wonderful little boy that he's very selective about what he eats. So we go through phases where he really likes something. So you buy it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it changes and then you buy something else. But in this case, I will go to the dairy section, and then they have pouches for kids.
And by the way, that's a very scary place to go to.
The dairy section. Moo.
Boo.
Really?
All right, sorry, I interrupted you.
Welcome to spooky season.
Yeah, welcome to spooky season.
And I will then grab a few of the same specific flavored ones because he wants it. And then behind the one that is advertised that's sitting there, there's a different one right behind it.
How did that happen?
People being...
Are you saying there's something spooky happening?
Yes, the person in the back of the fridge or someone... or the back of the fridge
Haunted
or someone
Sprouts.
Misplacing things. Yes. So
that does happen.
It does happen. I'll pick 2 of the 3 things I actually intended to take, and then right behind those, there'll be something entirely different. But yes, it's a little bit strange that it was even sitting on the counter. She recalled the memory of having had the switch of flavor, so she checked again.
Well, what makes me curious about this one is she experiencing this, or are they both experiencing this? The first time it was just her.
She just said her husband was sure they both saw the husband take the peach, and the husband was now shocked that
they both were shocked.
watermelon.
So it's a shared experience.
This time, the second time
it's a shared
around.
experience.
So the first time it was just her.
Well, the question is that gas station really there, or did they just sort of go
Oh
up to
my
something
goodness.
that wasn't really there at all? That's an interesting one because it would seem like on a very simple scale, you wouldn't even think twice about a flavor, right? But you're picking something out.
Maybe there's a ghost messing with them.
Okay. All right. I'll buy it. That could be the case.
So we're trying to think of explanations and being open to saying how this is very accurate as it can be.
That would be a very, very playful ghost.
Yeah, maybe there's a ghost chilling around over there and somehow thinks, just switching something as simple as flavors.
Does this thing where these are not the drinks you're seeing. Switch.
Or switching it later on. I don't know. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I would too. I mean, I think they're consciously thinking about it.
Everyone is posting on here with, obviously, most of these accounts are based basically on people, real people, not just bots. So it's interesting to kind of see people be pushed to such a point that they want to make a post about it and get validation from the outside, even though what Omar and I are going to be saying is not going to somehow validate the story to be real or not.
No, and we have no way of knowing. But I will
have no way of knowing.
I will tell you though, if I had to make something up, it would not be about the flavor of a drink.
No, so, but that's what I'm saying.
There's a little part of it that says, yeah, I guess somebody could have experienced that.
I wanted my flavor of drink, and this person was so upset with this thing now occurring twice that they're now going to go out of their way and try find an explanation for it.
Oh, right. Are there any comments on it out of curiosity?
We can scheme through.
Let's see if there's anything interesting.
Sometimes the universe knows what we need better than we do.
Very philosophical.
Very philosophical.
And I'm sure watermelon versus peach.
But here's a very logical person.
Okay.
What does your receipt say?
Well, it's logical, except that more than likely it will not necessarily say anything.
So we never ask for one when we go in, since it's usually just to pick up snacks and drinks, but definitely would be handy right about now.
Yes, I agree. Another piece of evidence, but very interestingly logical.
So someone else is saying, next time, take a photo of the drinks on the counter while you're paying, and take a photo when you get home.
And take a photo of the clerk back there looking at you like you're absolutely crazy, taking a picture of your drinks. But yes, I think when you start entering into the realm of trying to see if this is a reoccurring thing, I think evidence does help a little bit.
Look at this comment. Some canned beverages have the ability to change at will. Scientists cannot explain it.
That's humor, though.
And then another person commented, tagged to this, watch out for jam jars. And shampoo that magically changes to conditioner. Okay, everyone's
having a little fun with this one.
A little fun with this one.
I like that, though. But you have to have humor in this too. I think you can't make fun of somebody, but you can make a little bit light of the situation and say, okay, that was kind of funny. Nothing nefarious happened when obviously you're changing flavors.
All right, this is gonna be our last one.
All right.
Let's see. My clean laundry basket moved, and a pile of dry clothes were folded on my bed. I live alone.
Or do they?
I would love a laundry folding ghost in my house.
I would appreciate that too. Maybe the ghost.
Hint.
Maybe if there's, I could be that. That would be me, the one who folds things up and just leaves them.
Sorry, there's a tweak in my neck.
Yeah, there's a tweak in the Matrix too. Don't snort up your teeth. Don't snort it up. I've done that sometimes to Savannah. I'll say something and it catches her off guard.
I won't snort it out. It will come out of my nose.
Okay. But it's, beneficial ghosts. And okay, so I'll throw a little thing in there. Since I love the Scottish End, and a lot of my books focus around Scottish mythology, but I always think about the brownies over there. So the brownies are these little creatures that help around the house, but you do have to treat them with respect. And if you ignore them and don't treat them with respect.
Do you have to leave them a peace offering or something?
Well, they get a little something. And if you don't, then they will wreak havoc. And so this is they're very mischievous and they're not happy with you. So, so this enters into this whole realm that goes into myth, and it's a lot of fun. But a ghost that helps laundry is actually... You
shouldn't be complaining.
There is no complaints there about that. But I do love that. That's a very fun, playful ghost.
Okay, so let's see. So for context, this happened a few days ago before I found the subreddit. I was cleaning some clothes, got into my bedroom to sort out my laundry, and place the basket on the drawer. I take some clothes out to hang, turn away, and 1 minute or less later, I turn back around and the laundry basket is on the ground. I look at it in shock, as if I had just witnessed some paranormal bullshang.
Bullshang, okay.
But I I bloody hate doing laundry, and I place it back on the drawer. I'm gathering he's talking about a dresser at this point.
Yeah, probably, yes.
When I'm done, I go out to the kitchen, get myself some food, and come back later to sleep, only to notice a fresh pair of clothes neatly folded on my bed. I'm in complete shock here, like I genuinely don't know if I'm going insane, have a ghost, or if I blacked out. I typically don't fold my laundry, not even when putting them in my drawers. They're big enough to fit all my clothes in there, and I'm the type of guy who just takes a random t-shirt, pants, socks, etc. and go about my day.
So very fashion conscious.
So, yes.
Whatever. But the good news is he takes clean laundry rather than taking something off
That's
the floor.
good. This is, at least we understand this part of the story now.
Yes, okay, good.
In the evening...
We can connect to this, yes.
But between the evening, find a matching outfit neatly folded on my bed. What's going on here? And wow, that was it.
Well, there could be a hint from the ghost that says, hey, let's fold the laundry.
So someone is mentioning to check for carbon monoxide poisoning, as it can cause hallucinations. So there was a Redditor who kept finding post-it notes with messages on them in his apartment where he lived alone. He couldn't figure it out until he checked for a carbon monoxide leak, which can mess with your memory. And turns out he was writing the post-it notes and forgetting about it due to the leak. Carbon monoxide can be deadly, so get a detector if you don't have one.
I do agree with that. So on a serious note, that's very true. But if somebody doesn't fold their laundry and then all of a sudden it's folded, I'm going to probably say probably not.
Well, looking back over
here. I think the other forgetfulness, the example of the Post-its, that could very well be, but not for
So the edit was I tested for carbon monoxide and there was nothing.
Because that doesn't seem to... let's put it this way. You should always be careful, right? So we have the detectors in our house for a reason, because you can't smell it, you can't sense it, but it does affect you.
Yeah, because we've heard that there's obviously been stories out there, and even recently just of a celebrity who died of carbon monoxide poisoning. I forget who it was. But later they found out that they were so, I think, like drugged up by the carbon monoxide, neither of them were in the state to call for help. And it was too late at that point.
So it is very real. This is, again, cautionary for everybody. Please do that for yourselves.
It is a very logical and safe solution to kind of just check.
But however, in this particular case, I would have to say it doesn't really fit because it's not something he would normally do.
No.
I think it's the idea that if you normally just throw your things into a drawer because you really don't care, you're just going to grab a t-shirt, pair of jeans to wear, then why all of a sudden would you start folding your clothes?
But remember, he even said he got so he used the word bloody annoyed. He hates doing laundry.
Right.
That the basket had fallen, and he then decided, well, I'm gonna go eat something instead. I'm not gonna deal with this crap right now.
Right.
And came back
to all this,
to all of his neatly folded clothes.
So, but anyway, I would always encourage people to invite ghosts that do laundry, into your home. It's such a great feeling.
Should we go put up a sign outside, like we're looking for someone to fill a position?
Yes. And what is the pay for a position like that?
A cookie or two.
Ghost cookies.
Ghost cookies.
But to me, it's interesting to still see these experiences now. Can I share a ghost story?
Of course.
Okay. So in my travels for researching my book in Scotland, one of the places I would love to stay, and by the way, for those of you who haven't traveled to Scotland, I would definitely recommend it, but it's also considered one of the most haunted places in the world in general. And Edinburgh as a city has plenty of places. So the hotel I stayed in was considered a haunted hotel, but it was not advertised that way. It was actually a very nice little place. It was like a little treat for myself. It was called the Witchery, and the Witchery is, well, if you don't know Scottish history, it's where they actually hung the witches a long time ago. And so now it's a quaint little beautiful hotel that's right in the center of town. So I stayed there, and it was part of the inspiration for my writing and researching my stories that I put together, since they're mostly based over there. So one night while I was over there, this actually caught me off guard. It wasn't so much that it scared me, but it caught me off guard. Is I went to bed, and the rooms were nice, but they were appointed in like call it an older fashion, very nicely done. And in the middle of the night, and mind you, it's cold over there. Okay, so let's throw that in there. So I was having one of their blankets on me. The blanket was pulled off of me by something at the bottom of the bed. Like it was taken.
You woke up from your sleep?
No, I woke up from my sleep to watch the blanket being pulled off of me. And, the room is like completely dark to the extent that there really wasn't much light in there, just a tiny bit. But I could see literally this blanket being pulled off of me. I wasn't scared. I was more curious because, keep in mind, I am looking at how this fits into my writing and everything else. But we'll share more of these kinds of stories. But this was a really fun one for me, and it ties into.
We're going to leave everyone with this comment, though, which I think we're all going to agree with. So, if they're bothering you with the clean folded laundry, you could send them my way. I have a basket of laundry that needs folding.
See, we all agree. And when they're done with that, they can come to our place because we have to do a lot of laundry with our
I
little
think
guy.
there's going to be a wait list for this.
There's
this
gonna be a wait
ghost.
list.
They're going to be very popular.
So on that happy note, we appreciate you joining us. Do share stories. We would love to see more of your experiences too, and comments. We are not totally crazy. We actually do appreciate and love this aspect of a fall and just things that are a little bit strange, because it's what makes life interesting.
We're going to share some actual paranormal sightings next time we do the next video. So we'll dive more into a wonderful Halloween spirit, and we will actually transform our little setting over here as well. The corner will become spooky.
I love that. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and helping figure out how everything else is out there. And even if we don't have answers, we can talk about it.
All right, thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to hearing everyone else's experiences and sharing ours with you.
Till the next time.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye.